We have Melissa Ebbe calling in from SyFy's Face Off. Melissa, do we have you on the air, Melissa?
Hello.
Hey, can you hear us?
Hi.
How are you today?
I can hear you.
Good. Hey, I'm Bill. We finally got you on the show. We have Sean, my co-host, here today.
Hello.
And
Hello.
for those of you who don't know, Melissa is SyFy's contestant from season 10. She's also on the All-Star season as well, and she's owner and creator at Feral Works, where she produces masks, statues, and other film and game-influenced artwork. Melissa, welcome to the Cinescape today. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, real quick, I want to understand, you're at Transworld today?
Yeah, actually, I'm on my way home right now. But
Okay,
yeah, no, I
cool.
was at Transworld the whole weekend.
Awesome. Now that's one of the biggest Halloween events, I take it?
Yeah, it's a big the trade convention for people who run haunted houses and like escape rooms and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
We were actually just tossing around the idea of doing one of those escape rooms. Have you done one of those recently?
Okay, so here's a confession for you.
Okay.
I've never done a haunted house or an escape room.
Really?
Not even a haunted house?
Not even a haunted house.
Man.
What's keeping you from it?
Hmm?
What's keeping you from doing one?
I'm worried it'll be too scary.
For somebody who creates some scary stuff such as you're afraid to actually go into one of those?
Well, I don't know. It might be too scary.
They're not allowed to touch
I mean,
it.
there's a difference between being on the creating end of it and on the receiving end of it. So.
Definitely. I guess there is a difference there. I mean, I could tell you I would be scared as hell to see one of your works in a haunted house. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the, I would not. I guess I could see where you're coming from, because if you're the one creating some of those things that are in a haunted house, I would definitely think twice about going in one. So I could definitely, I guess, relate to where you're coming from with that. But since we have you on the show, I do want to ask you a little bit about your experience there. So we'll just jump right into it. So you I know you were paired up this season on the All Stars with Kaylin, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now let me
Yeah, that's
ask.
correct.
Let me ask you. So, last season you're on season 10 by yourself. This time you're paired up with somebody. Do you feel like you worked better in a team environment or individually?
I think it can go either way. For me, normally I work alone.
Yeah.
Because I'm just I'm an artist, so I work in my basement by myself. That being said, I've been brought in on team projects before, and it can be it's a different dynamic for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's really nice to feed off of each other's creativity. It brings ideas to the table that you wouldn't come up with on your own. So I think they're both great. They're just different.
Different dynamics, yeah, absolutely. And you see that throughout the course of the season of All Stars, where not everyone that's picked to work together meshes together, and certainly certain people go home sooner because they can't collaborate the way that that you'd like to. There was certainly I think it was Nico and I'm blanking on her name, but they recently just started like dating over the course of a few seasons, and unfortunately, like coming from somebody who's in a relationship, I was watching the show and I'm like, oh, you know what? They're just gonna let their emotions get in the way, and they're not gonna be able to agree on certain things. And it was funny because the season or the episode that they got eliminated, I was like, oh, you know what? They're just gonna go home and be an angry couple and argue about this.
Oh no, that's not like them at all, though.
I know
really,
they seem like such
so
a sweet people.
Of one another.
Yeah, and they seem so
It's just,
sweet.
Well, they actually run a business together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's not like they don't work together. They fully work together all the time.
I know. I feel like that would be so difficult for me to actually work with my fiance and do something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
so too.
Yeah. But I agree. I'm more one for working individually. I think that's where
Bill's not a team player.
I'm not a team player. No, I'm a team player. But let me ask you too. since you're always paired up with your partner throughout the season, is there any out of the 3 judges, which one of them would you, if you could be paired up with one, would you want to work with?
Oh, that's a tough question. If I had to be paired up with a judge.
Yeah, so out of Glenn, V, and Neville, which one could you see yourself working the best with?
Well, I don't know about working the best, but I think I'd.
Or most fun, or most creative? What?
Well, no, it's just they're all so different. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'd probably pick Neville just because I really, he's a concept artist. He's brilliant. I really like everything he brings to the table. It'd be really fun to work on a collaborative idea with him.
Yeah.
That being said, I think I really gel well with Glenn.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it would be fun too. So I don't know. I'm not terrible interviewing.
No, you're
Don't
fine.
have any definite answers. But no, I think that they both do really great. VA doesn't get as much feedback from I feel so.
Yeah.
But she is such a huge creative force. Like, and she's been in so many iconic films and everything. I'm sure, like, just even being around her, I would learn so much. So
Yeah. And watching this,
a very democratic answer.
Oh yeah, and watching this season, I feel like V has definitely loosened up over the years. Like with this season, she's made some comments, and I'm really like, this isn't the V Neal that we've seen in the past few seasons. She's definitely made some very blunt comments to people, and I'm really surprised. And you know what? One thing that always strikes me is in the showdown part where all the judges say hi to you, and it's funny to see how intimidated everyone is when by their responses back. Like everybody always is intimidated by Glenn, and then everybody's always cheery with V, hey V, and then everybody's very subtle with Neville, hi Neville, and it's funny that
I feel like some of that might be the editing.
Yeah.
So I know there was a couple times when I was so nervous, like I said people's names wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I was anticipating the next judge because I was like, okay, prepare, in my head, prepare to say hello to Glenn, then prepare to say hello to V, and then it'd be like, hi V to Glenn. So, I was just so nervous because even when you're on the stage, you got these huge spotlights on you. There's cameramen everywhere. It is very intimidating.
I can imagine.
So yes, but we did have to occasionally do multiple takes because someone like myself screwed up.
Why? What did you do?
Like when I would say the wrong name.
Oh, okay.
And stutter or something like that. Like just because you get so nervous on the stage.
Yeah. And I hate it every time because when you're at the end there and Glenn is always the one that says tonight's winner is, and then it's that long pause that goes to a commercial break, and I always find myself cursing at my television. I'm like, damn it, Glenn. And I'm really sitting there wondering like, what's that?
The winner is the commercial.
Yeah, the commercial. It's the Wendy's Baconator. Thanks.
Everybody wins when you purchase one of those.
Yeah. and I can only imagine how long it actually is of a delay on on the in the studio there. So I'm cursing at my TV when that happens. But I can only imagine the anticipation it takes.
There's a little bit of a delay. There's a little bit of anticipation.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because you're in the moment and on the stage, but it seems like it takes forever between Glenn saying, and the winner is.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
Well, now,
yeah.
Now you got to, the show definitely takes you through a lot of different feels, a lot of different emotions, and it definitely takes you to. You guys get to do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool challenges that may take you to certain places and see certain things. What have been some highlights for you throughout the past 2 seasons that have really been, an experience for you?
Oh boy, I don't know. There's so many. You're asking hard questions.
All right, Melissa. What's your favorite beer?
A lot of the guest judges was like that was probably. I mean, it's not really going to a location, but getting to meet like some of the guest judges.
Yeah.
And like Lance Henriksen was so cool and so down to earth, and he was such a good kidder. And like when we had to clear the stage to get set up for the next shot, like I like ran back in and I just like ran up to Lance Henriksen. I'm like, look, I'm a huge fan. I watched Aliens. I even watched Millennium. Like, I watched all these shows with you, and I'm just so honored that you had a chance to look at my work. And they're like trying to shoo me out. They're like, Melissa, you're not allowed to be here right now. But I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to say like how I felt for one of my heroes. So
Absolutely.
Definitely the guest judges, I think, was probably the highlight for me. Like just getting, and for me, being from Wisconsin, like where there's not a huge FX community,
Right.
like the opportunity to show my work to people in that industry, I would have never gotten that opportunity otherwise.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. So,
Yeah, no, it's so huge, important, and that's why I went on the show.
So, since you just brought up Aliens, I'm gonna just detract real quickly here. But are you excited for the new Alien Covenant movie?
Oh, I'm so excited for the Alien
Because this is one movie that we continuously talk about.
Opinion time, I love Prometheus.
I did
So
too.
I'm
I
really
love
excited
Prometheus.
to see
Yeah.
them both come together.
Sean and I were big fans of Prometheus.
Gotta
And,
watch the director's cut with all the
Yes.
added in footage.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So good. And it's much more subtle. I get why people who thought it was going to be another Aliens movie
Right.
might be upset. But it's just so good. And it's got all this, like, if you start, like, looking in the background, like, the murals when they're in the spaceship, it explains the story of the aliens.
Yeah.
And, like, how they come about. And, like, I just thought it was such a cool film.
Have you seen the new poster that came out for that the other day?
The which one?
There's a new poster that just came out for it the other day. I know we posted it on our social
so
media.
Good.
Oh my god, it's like it looks like a mural. I mean, that's something that I would want blown up and put on my wall. I mean, that photo is so amazing. The way like all the xenomorphs are like wrapped around the engineer and looking up at the sun. I mean, it's really something cool.
So good. I know. I'm like, I would love the opportunity to work on one of those films. Like, I'll even just sweep the floors. I just want to be there.
Now, has H.R. Giger been any kind of an inspiration to you in terms of what you've been creating?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, how could he not be? He's just such an icon. And, like, I mean, you have to remember, like, when Alien came out, like, no one had ever seen a design like that before. It changed the whole industry. He is such a hero of ours. And if you've seen Dark Star I think it's on Netflix right now, but it's like a documentary about his life and everything like that. And if you just watch, he's so humbling in a way because he's so down to earth and just like really excited about what he does. And I was just I was so inspired after watching that documentary that I made a mask like based on Giger's work. So, he's just such an icon.
Since you've been on 2 seasons of Face Off now, how would you say that the show has impacted your personal and professional life?
Well, it's hard. I'm still in Wisconsin. I'm trying to move out to LA. So I would like to get a little bit more industry work. People obviously know who I am more, but it's not like it's going to my head or anything.
Oh, no. I mean, like in terms of, what kind of doors that's opened up for you.
I was on TV.
Yeah. Oh, you could. That's what Bill and I do. Oh, yeah, we do an internet radio show.
Actually, the funniest thing is, like, when I go out with my kids, like, the conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
So my son, he was on the finale of Face Off, the season 10 finale. And they brought him in to surprise me. Anyway, so he thinks it's normal now to be on TV. And so like, we'll go to a convention and like people will stop me for pictures and everything. And he's like, "Mom, what's the big deal? I was on Face Off too."
He's riding your coattails to fame.
Oh, no, he was the star according to him.
So does your son then expect you to create, cool costumes for him for Halloween and for conventions and stuff?
Well, it's funny because sometimes he doesn't give me a lot of turnaround time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
he's like, I wanted this yesterday.
Yeah. Mom, just so you know, I'm getting together with some friends over the weekend, and I need to look like a xenomorph by Saturday. Can you make that happen? Great.
No. For example, this past Halloween,
yeah,
he was going to be BMO from Adventure Time.
Okay.
And my husband and he had made a whole BMO costume. And then the day before Halloween, he's like, no, I want to be Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's. So I fabricated him a whole, like, mascot head the day before trick-or-treating.
Oh, boy.
Because I couldn't find anything in stores because everything has been sold out.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to know the difference between the quality or anything. But so I ended up fabricating him this whole gigantic head, and he was scaring everybody.
Oh, wow.
It ended up being a huge hit at Halloween, but I'm like, well, can't do that too often. That's
Yeah.
too fast of a turnaround.
So like we were saying, you were on back-to-back seasons of the show. What was it like in terms of the filming schedule and being away from your family for extended periods of time like that?
It's really hard. I don't recommend it. I think that it's the thing that people don't understand about a reality TV show, and I'm sure it's the way with a lot of reality TV shows, is that you're sort of isolated from the world. And, you're not really able to have contact with your family. So, like, I was isolated from my family for that time, and it's like you don't really have that support network. So, like,
Yeah.
in a real-life situation, you have a bad day at work, you come home, you bitch about it. Sorry, you're angry about it.
No.
And then,
Feel free to
Melissa,
curse away.
Yeah, we're completely uncensored.
This
here.
is toxic radio here. You can curse all you want.
I didn't know. So you come home, you complain about it, you get it off your chest, and you go back and do another day at work. Well, in this situation, you don't really ever get that decompression time.
Yeah.
Because you go back home, you're hanging out with the castmates, who are wonderful people. And I gotta say, I love all of my castmates, like, from both seasons. Like, they are still some of the best friends I have, and they're truly inspiring individuals. But all you have to talk about is what you did in the shop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the workday just continues,
Yeah.
You can't, kick back and watch TV. You can't, do any of the things you would normally do. So I think that people don't necessarily get, like, how strenuous that can be psychologically.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anybody from
then
the show that you still keep in close contact with?
Oh, yeah. Like, pretty much a good chunk of them I do. I contact regularly. And that's one of the cool things about Face Off is, like, especially with the All-Star season, I'm with all these incredible artists. So, like, I pretty regularly, like, will share whatever I'm working on with them and be like, hey, check this out, got any feedback? And it's like, it's that artist community that I really wanted. And granted, I wish I were a little bit closer physically, but it's still nice that I can reach out and share my work with them and get feedback.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. Sean and I like to refer to ourselves as artists from time to time.
Sure,
and,
why not?
And we always we always appreciate any advice and any critiquing that we can certainly take on. And
Usually we get like, oh, your show sucks.
Yeah, like you guys are only funny when you're drunk.
A good point. Like, critiques. Like, I think that people. Okay, having gone through art school, I spent 7 years in art school.
You're like an art
doctor. You learn how to take a critique. You learn how to, what critiques to listen to and what critiques to maybe not listen to.
Sure, surely.
And I think that that's a big thing, is that people, they get a little too hung up on the critiques, or they take them too personally. Like, every time I went before the judges, I just wanted their opinion.
Yeah.
Because I respect their work, I respect what they've done in the industry, and I know that no matter what they say, I'm going to learn from it. And, I might not have always agreed with what they said, but I think that there was always, like, a lesson there. There was always something to be learned from what they told us. So I think that people, if you're an artist, like, be aware of, like, what you can gain from a critique, parse out what you need. And sometimes, if it's just some random on the internet, you maybe don't need to listen to that opinion.
Yeah. Like, who are you?
Some 13-year-old punk sitting in your parents' basement.
You respect your idols and, learn from them.
Surely, absolutely.
Don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley. So, Melissa, I want to ask you too. We talked before the show even. There's a lot of movies and television shows that you're certainly into, and we just obviously talked about Aliens, which we're certainly pumped up about. Is there any franchises out there right now that you would really love the opportunity to just express your work through and be a part of right now?
Franchises?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Alien, is a big one, but
yeah, for sure, Aliens would be right up there at the top, like hands down. Anything, I would really treasure the opportunity to work with Guillermo del Toro. I mean, like his, like the kaiju on Pacific Rim. Oh, I'd love to work on those, like just sculpting them. Oh.
yeah.
Well, you won't have to do any work on Hellboy 3.
And all of his his more fantasy-based work is just so gorgeous and beautiful. So if I ever have an opportunity to work with him, if he's by any chance listening, I'll do it for free.
Guillermo del Toro, just in case you're out there, we have an intern for you that is willing to work for
we
for
actually
free.
have him calling in next week. We'll pass that along.
Okay.
We'll throw your resume out there on monster.com for Guillermo del Toro. Now you told me too you're a big fan of It's Always Sunny, right? You
I didn't catch that last part.
told me you're a big fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah, of course.
So, being that we're right outside of Philadelphia, what is it about the show that really reels you in? Because, everybody's got a different reason as to why they like this show. And it's, we just talked about it last week because we think it's on its last leg here because Glenn Howerton said that he doesn't know if he's going to be coming back to the show. So,
they have been doing it for, 11 years now?
No, actually, this would be
That's
13. 13 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they would go on forever, but as people, especially with people who play such awful people, I can understand what maybe you'd want to break from it.
Yeah, when you play the the seedy underbelly of society for so long, I could be certain that it takes a toll. And I think the only one that it hasn't affected was Danny DeVito, because he's the only one that's still going around and acting like his true-to-life character. Because I don't know if you follow him on social media, but he pretty much just goes to concerts nowadays and shows his bare ass to people and offends every one of his fans. So I think he's the only one that's true to life to his character. Everyone else, I think, is pretty much at that point where it's like, you're either settled down with your life a little bit or you're just interested in moving on to something else. And I think that's what it is for a lot of the characters on that show. So it's certainly sad to see it come to an end. But do you have a favorite episode or a favorite character from the show?
Well, obviously Charlie.
Yes.
I cosplay as him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Is there
cat wearing kitten mittens?
Really? I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing pictures of this.
I will send you a picture as soon as I get off the phone.
That is awesome.
No, I do cosplay as Charlie pretty regularly. So he's obviously my favorite.
That's awesome.
Favorite episode. I think the one is a real early one. I think it's season 2, where the gang gets addicted to crack. That one's up there.
Children, you're crackheads.
Oh, that's great.
And also, I really enjoyed the football one, with the introduction of the Green Man and,
Yes.
I was actually at the taping of that episode. The first time we saw Green Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see the taping of that episode. I saw
all the McCoyles and
I saw Dee get hit in the face with that dodgeball 10 different times. And they had to it was hitting her so hard and it hurt her so bad they had to keep deflating the ball to get less air in it because she had all that makeup on and you can see her face is still getting red from it. It was hilarious. I felt so bad for her though.
They are dedicated. I'll give them that. They are dedicated actors.
It's definitely a great show, and it's sad that it sounds like it's coming to an end, but everything has its time and its day. And
though, I think that this past season was really strong.
It was. I loved it. It was
strong characters. I don't think if anything, they're going to go out with a bang. They're not going to go out just
for sure.
Stop watching.
Yeah, like Glenn was saying in that interview, we might see a hiatus between the next season. So I mean, we could probably see maybe a year or two in between seasons 12 and 13. But like we were saying, like if it is going to be done, we want to see the cast all together. Like we don't want to see Glenn go off the show and not see anybody, or like have anybody else not
like
on
the
it.
Office, where Steve Carell left kind of.
Yeah, I mean the show loses its luster and its charm after that, and that's not what you want.
Definitely. Sean, you got me off guard there. You're like,
anyway, back to you, Bill.
Definitely caught me with a quiet moment there. So I mean, we're excited to to have you on the show, and Melissa, as we wrap up here, we certainly would love to have you on again soon because there's just so much to talk about with you. I do want to just, before we let you go, just ask you about your company, Feral Works, and I want to ask you what you have going on with that right now, and if there's anything that we should keep a lookout for right now in the future.
And feel free to plug anything that you'd need to.
Well, I'm always working on cool shit. I mean, I get to kind of do what I want. And my motto is I like to make stuff, and I hope people buy it.
Yeah, that's a good business approach.
That's like us. We hope people listen.
That's fun. Huh?
I said that's like us. We do our show and we hope people listen.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see. Next month, April 7th through 9th, I think, is Monster Palooza in Pasadena, California.
Okay, cool.
And I will be doing a sculpting demonstration there where I will try to bang out a mask sculpture in a day. So
nice.
We're going to see how that goes. And do live sculpting. And I'm hoping if I can get my act together, I will debut a new costume there.
Awesome.
So assuming that everything goes well with that, I will have something big and crazy to show off.
Yeah, you'll have to keep us in tune about that so we can definitely follow your progress with that and get that out there to everyone.
Yeah.
We'd love to see your work in action.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, I'm staying active. I mean, everyone, it's so funny. They're like, I'm so sad Melissa and Kaylin are gone from the show. And like, I get it. You get emotionally attached to us on the show, but I'm like, dude, we're not dead.
Right.
I'm still making work, I promise. Like, I know I'm not on TV anymore, but I'm not dead.
Right. And we want to continue, if this is your moment to make this sound like a vigil, we would like to carry on the spirit of Melissa from Face Off as the world turns here.
Remember me.
So, I mean, we definitely want to continue, making the audience aware that you are still alive and kicking. And in doing so, we'd like it if you could share your work with us so we can keep track of everything that you got going on. It's always a pleasure.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. We would love to have you on again soon just to talk. You have
sure.
You're obviously a very cool person to just talk to and catch up about.
That's very kind of you. I'm incredibly nerdy. I don't know if people realize that because they kind of edited me down in the show.
No, and
that's why we wanted to have you on.
Right,
really nerdy.
No, we want nerdy. So let us know what other nerdy shit we could talk about next time. I mean, I don't know if you're. I just like I told Sean, last week, like a couple weeks ago, I just went out and bought like a fully functioning Iron Man helmet because, what do you do with supplemental income in your 30s other than just buy, nerdy random stuff? So
that makes complete sense. You buy nerdy stuff and then you wear it around the house while you're.
He wears it while he's driving. Too.
Yeah, I wore it while I was driving one day. I was just like, I want to see how people are going to react when they turn their head in traffic and see Iron Man looking at them. So
I'd be like, I guess I could say, fuck yeah.
That guy who tried to fight us in the parking lot would have thought twice.
Yeah, for sure. like Melissa.
I swear a lot normally, but I'm like, am I on radio? I don't know if I should swear.
No, you're fully clear to swear and stuff. And I had bought a special effects lightsaber a couple months ago. It was on sale it was on sale after Christmas, so I picked one up, and for like the first 2 weeks, I would walk my dog with it at night, and I would just walk around with the lightsaber in the parking lot. And people were probably
my neighbors, like I've lived in the same place for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And at first I think they're kind of weirded out by me, but now it's just like, yeah, it's normal. That's Melissa. Do her thing.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the nerd walking around my apartment complex with lightsabers and Iron Man helmets on, so I don't know what they think of me at this point. But
Honey, what is he
Dude,
doing out there
if I walk
today?
around my neighborhood with a lightsaber, I'd grab my lightsaber and be like, we have to fight.
yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It would totally be a Jedi showdown at
And if I saw it, I'd play some
Exactly.
theme music to go along with
yes. Oh my God. So I mean, Melissa, we definitely have to have you on again soon. I think there's just tons of stuff that we can nerd out
it.
about.
Or if you find yourself in the Philadelphia area, maybe we can get you in the studio.
Yeah,
too.
do you come out to Philly at
I'd
all
like to
for
get
any
back
events?
there. I went once about 12 years ago. Saw the Lunar Museum. That was fucking
Well, we got
awesome.
Wizard World
So, yeah, I
Comic Con
definitely
coming
wanna
up this summer.
Huh?
We have Wizard World Comic Con coming up this summer. Just saying.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
And
that's-
Monster
that's
Mania will be in
cosplay, huh?
August.
Yeah.
Monster
That's a
Mania
big
in
one.
August.
Yes.
Decisions.
We're
decisions.
enticing
I will ask
you.
to send me some more information about that.
Well,
We'll send
definitely.
you some links.
So, Melissa, thanks again for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Guys, check Melissa out on Twitter.
Yeah,
on,
Melissa, where can we find you online?
Yeah, give us the lowdown of where we can find you.
Well, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all under Feral Works, my business.
Yes.
And then I have a website. It's melissaebbe.com. And it's just I try to update it for my portfolio. So it's a little bit less dynamic than Instagram, and you get less pictures of my dog, but
Well, we'll make sure that we share all those links along with the video in the show notes for that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Perfect. Everyone, thank you for listening today. Melissa, once again, thank you for joining us today. We hope your Sunday is fun-filled, and we'll get all that information out to the crowds and masses, and hopefully we can get you back on soon, and we'll catch up. All right. Well,
Yeah, she was definitely really cool to talk
yes,
to.
absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her. I'm like, maybe you could make us like a handmade thing for us, like Cinescape theme.
Right?
You know,
How cool would that be?
We could have right here on
Like
the
a
table.
sculpture of some sort?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I lost you. Sorry.
Oh, Melissa's back! Hey!
Oh my God! We thought we lost you, and then you're still
Bill
there.
started talking all this shit as soon as you hung up.
Oh, well, I get it. Okay.
Now, we were just saying, maybe I don't know if this would be possible if you ever had it in your time allotment, but if you could maybe make us something small to that we could display on camera for our show, maybe movie themed or something like that. That would be that'd be something
rad.
really cool to have.
Okay, that's what we can do.
So if you have the spare time, you find yourself done doing an internet radio interview one day, and you're looking for something to do.
She's like, I found all this junk and I put it together because I thought it accurately.
I got the blowtorch out and just put all my trash together.
Oh.
She's like, I found a couple trash cans left over and I welded them together because it accurately depicted your show. So here you go.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay, Melissa. We're just being a little cynical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. It's hard not to be cynical after being on reality TV for 2 seasons.
Yeah. I can imagine that would probably lead to some very drinking related habits. I'm sure. I mean, at least I would.
Yeah, I'm trying to curb that a little bit, but yeah.
Easy on the wine.
Yeah. Well, I'm a parent also, and the way I understand it is that if you're a mom, you're supposed to drink wine,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah,
Totally.
my fiance does.
Yeah. You have wine nights. Every woman has wine night now. It's
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It's
so
the thing. to
DJ
do.
has wine night too,
myself,
apparently.
right?
My fiance comes home from having a bad day, and she's like, "Listen, I deserve this bottle of wine." I'm like, "Hey, totally, absolutely."
I don't think it goes that smoothly.
goes as smoothly as this Miller Lite we're enjoying today. So since Sean asked for the Cinescape project, we'll have to follow your progress for that. Since you just made Melissa commit to a
Put her on the spot.
a project for us.
Project. You want a full on project? I mean, I could probably send you some artwork or some prints or something.
Yeah, that something small would be totally fine.
Okay.
We're not gonna get this the giant crate in the mail that we have to sign for with straw in it.
It's the Cinescape Mecha Warrior armor that you request.
Fragile.
Yeah, fragile. Italian. All right. Well, cool. I'm probably gonna hit the road again. Are we done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We thought we've
been done for half an hour.
Okay. No. I'm driving home from Transworld, which is in St. Louis, and I'm driving back to Wisconsin. So I'm in the middle of Illinois, and let me tell you, I do not look like I belong here.
Oh dear. Well, for the sake of you getting it, safely through Illinois and any sketchy areas, we will let you go. Please check in with us so we know that you made it home safely. We hear Chicago is pretty treacherous, so
And windy.
yes.
Nah, I used to live there. It's fine.
Well, be safe in your travels. We don't mean to hold you up any further, but thank you again, Melissa, for joining us today, and we'll catch up with you soon, all right?
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Melissa.
All right. Melissa Ebbe.
All right.